A black Liafeng, like a monster with no visible end, wriggled above the sky. Behind the Liafeng, there was a pitch-black void, and even Lin Dong's spiritual energy could not perceive what lay beyond. Lin Dong and his group appeared, their gazes both solemn and filled with surprise as they looked at the space Liafeng. Clearly, beyond this Liafeng was the shattered space, the very place where the devouring lord had fallen. What terrifying energy fluctuations! No wonder it's said to be the devouring lord's domain. Elder Zhu Li sighed as he gazed at the massive Liafeng. Having reached the pinnacle of the reincarnation stage, even he felt a sense of heart-pounding awe when faced with such vast, endless energy waves. The devouring lord truly was a being of unfathomable depth. Lin Dong nodded solemnly, then his mind moved. He glanced back, a faint smile crossing his face. Looks like we aren't the only capable ones here. They've caught up quite quickly. As his voice fell, several flashes of light appeared from the distant Tianxian mystic gale storm. In just a few flashes, they appeared not far from Lin Dong's group. The first to appear were the experts of the Nine Phoenix clan, followed by the Kuanping clan, and then a few top-tier experts from the Eight King clans, among others. These individuals were indeed extremely powerful, and clearly, each of them possessed their own means. None of them had fallen too far behind. In just under 10 minutes, the previously quiet, desolate land began to fill with figures. After these powerful figures arrived, their fiery gazes were fixed on the massive Liafeng in the sky. It was clear that they all knew this Liafeng was the source of the recent disturbances in the demon realm. However, those who arrived were no pushovers. Even though the shattered space lay right before them, they remained cautious, suppressing their greed and not daring to take reckless risks. Everyone's being so cautious. Lin Dong observed the eerie silence and couldn't help but smile. His dark eyes locked on the black Liafeng, and his hand unconsciously clenched. He could feel the devouring ancestral talisman within him trembling, and through this vibration, Lin Dong sensed a mysterious connection within the shattered space. This connection, he believed, must be linked to the devouring lord. Let's go first. Lin Dong took a deep breath, then took the lead and stepped forward. Little Mink and Little Yin, who stood beside him, were slightly startled. They knew Lin Dong well. His usual nature was cautious, and he rarely made bold moves like this. But this time, don't worry, Lin Dong seemed to understand their surprise. He smiled lightly and, without saying more, moved swiftly. Under the watchful eyes of many, he was the first to charge into the black Liafeng, and then vanished. Let's go. Seeing this, Little Mink and Little Yin no longer hesitated. With a wave of their hands, everyone followed suit, rushing into the Liafeng after Lin Dong. With their lead, the other powerful figures from various factions could no longer hold back. Even the Nine Phoenix clan and Kuanping clan hesitated for only a moment before moving together, rushing into the Liafeng. As Lin Dong charged into the Liafeng, violent spatial fluctuations immediately engulfed him. However, he did not resist, instead allowing the spatial force to envelop him. Then, he felt a momentary disorientation. When he opened his eyes again, the surroundings had completely changed. Stabilizing himself, Lin Dong immediately cast his gaze outward. What appeared before him was an endless, desolate land, covered with deep ravines. At a glance, it was obvious these ravines were not naturally formed, but were the result of a terrifying battle that had torn the land apart. This space looked like a ruined ancient battlefield, and an ancient, tragic aura still lingered, strong and unmistakable, even after countless millennia. Looking further into the distance, Lin Dong could make out massive white bones, towering tens of thousands of feet high. The bones were severely damaged, their shapes unrecognizable, but even after thousands of years, they still emitted a faint glow, with a wild, untamed energy emanating from them. One could only imagine that the beings these bones once belonged to were once earth-shattering figures. Huh? Where are Little Mink and the others? As Lin Dong snapped out of his thoughts, he was startled to find that Little Mink, Elder Zhu Li, and the others were no longer around. His brow furrowed slightly, and he soon realized that the Liafeng had likely lost its stability due to the violent energy surges in this place, causing the people who entered to be scattered randomly. As Lin Dong furrowed his brow, a voice suddenly echoed from not far away. He then saw 3 figures swiftly approaching him. Upon closer inspection, it was Little Yin, Little Mink, and the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander. From the looks of it, they hadn't been separated by too much distance, so it didn't take long for them to spot each other. "Is it just the 3 of you?" Lin Dong asked, looking at them. "Yeah, seems like we were all separated, but it's no big deal. Our goal is the same, heading deeper. We should meet up soon enough," Little Mink nodded. He then scanned the vast land and added, "This seems like an ancient battleground left behind from the Great War of the past." Looking at the desolate ancient battlefield, Little Mink couldn't help but sigh. The cataclysmic war of the ancient times had affected all living beings across the world, with no one escaping unscathed. Lin Dong nodded slightly. His gaze fell upon the massive bones scattered across the ground, and a heavy feeling settled in his heart. Those damned alien demons were indeed powerful. Even with the esteemed Talisman Master leading them back then, they had barely managed to win, and there were still lingering repercussions, such as the mysterious demon prison, which no one knew the extent of or where its influence might reach. This place must have claimed the lives of many top-tier ancient experts. Judging by these bones, there are quite a few from ancient races that no longer exist, Little Mink remarked. Lin Dong nodded again. During the ancient times, the beast world had clearly been more prosperous. The dominant clans were not just the 4 major clans of today. However, most of the other dominant clans were wiped out in the cataclysm. "Let's go. We'll head straight to the devouring deity temple," Lin Dong said after a moment of thought. His gaze turned towards the far end of the battlefield. The battlefield was vast, and the oppressive atmosphere here interfered with spiritual energy sensing. However, with the ancestral talisman he possessed, he could still faintly discern the direction. Yeah, Little Mink and the others had no objections. The priority was to find the devouring deity temple. If someone else got there first, it could be troublesome. With their decision made, the 4 of them didn't hesitate, leaping into action. Their figures shot forward, transforming into 4 streaks of light, tearing through the quiet sky, and soon disappearing into the distance. This ancient battlefield seemed to stretch on endlessly. Despite pushing their speed to the limit for nearly 20 minutes, Lin Dong and his group still didn't see any sign of an end. The massive bones scattered across the ground had only grown in number. The sight left the 4 of them with solemn expressions. Even though they were only seeing a corner of the ancient war's aftermath, it was enough to sense how terrifying that cataclysm must have been. Along the way, they encountered quite a few powerful individuals, but everyone kept their distance and didn't engage in conversation. Lin Dong was quite happy with this. Seeing these people rushing in the opposite direction only made him secretly glad. The fewer competitors, the better. Not that he thought these individuals would cause him much trouble. Above, 4 streaks of light shot across the sky. Lin Dong's sharp eyes swept below. Just as he was about to increase his speed, he suddenly noticed that Little Yin had slowed down. "What's wrong?" Lin Dong asked in surprise, turning to look at Little Yin, who appeared somewhat dazed. His tiger-like eyes were fixed intently on a particular spot of the devastated ancient battlefield below. "Big brother, it feels like something is calling to me from over there." Little Yin hesitated before speaking. Lin Dong was stunned. He exchanged a glance with Little Mink, then slowed down as well. After a moment of consideration, the 4 of them gradually descended. They landed at a place where numerous deep ravines intersected. In the depths of the ravines, there was an abyss of darkness. "Is the calling coming from down there?" Lin Dong pointed at the ravine below, which seemed to stretch endlessly. "Yeah," Little Yin sensed for a moment and then nodded solemnly. He shook his head with a wry smile. "When we got here, my blood has become much hotter." "How could that be?" Lin Dong was taken aback. As I mentioned earlier, this ancient battlefield contains the remains of many races from the ancient times. Little Yin carries the bloodline of the celestial demon tiger clan. If he's sensing something, then there might be an ancient tiger clan ancestor who passed away down there. But we don't know which tiger clan it was, Little Mink mused. "Which clan? We'll find out when we get there," Lin Dong chuckled, then focused his mind. A silvery white sphere of spiritual energy rose from his hand and was tossed directly into the abyss. Boom! As the darkness in the abyss faded, Lin Dong and the others suddenly shrank their pupils. At the bottom of the abyss, a colossal creature lay sprawled, exuding an indescribable and overwhelming aura of ferocity that filled the air. This massive being, nearly 1,000 feet long, displayed an extreme purity in its black and white body, resembling a floating yin-yang symbol. On its back were a pair of giant wings, one black and one white, tightly pressed against its body. It lay motionless at the bottom, devoid of any life, but its imposing aura made Lin Dong's expression grow solemn. What kind of tiger clan is this? It's so unusual. The heavenly dragon demon commander couldn't help but ask. At present, the tiger clans included only the clan of Celestial Demon Tiger, the Abyssal Tiger Clan, and the Earth-Shaking Thunder Tiger Clan. However, none of these clans seemed as awe-inspiring as the black and white giant tiger before them. Lin Dong slowly shook his head and turned his gaze to Little Mink. The latter exhaled deeply, his face serious, and spoke slowly. One of the ancient dominant clans, the Dark Sacred Tiger. Dark Sacred Tiger? Both Lin Dong and the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander were taken aback upon hearing this name. After all, there was no such tiger clan in the current beast realm. The Dark Sacred Tiger Clan is considered the common ancestor of today's tiger clans. However, during the ancient times, due to the great war between heaven and earth, the Dark Sacred Tiger was nearly wiped out, and its bloodline ceased to exist. This led to the gradual decline of the tiger clans, and they no longer held the same dominant position they once had, Little Mink explained. I've seen records of the Dark Sacred Tiger in ancient scriptures. They were extremely formidable. One of their ancestors once dominated the world, and countless alien demon experts perished at their hands. Their strength was astonishing, and even in those ancient times, they were peak-tier experts, Lin Dong remarked, clicking his tongue in awe. It seemed that the Dark Sacred Tiger Clan had truly been extraordinary in the past, but unfortunately, this bloodline no longer existed in the present world. Perhaps the remains before us are the last of the Dark Sacred Tiger, Little Mink sighed softly. Once a powerful clan that had ruled the heavens and earth, now reduced to dust. Such a fate was hard to ignore. Big brother, should we go down and take a look? Little Yan's tiger-like eyes were fixated on the colossal creature at the bottom of the abyss. A flush had appeared on his face, clearly indicating his excitement. The Dark Sacred Tiger Clan was revered like ancestors for those of them with tiger bloodlines, so seeing it now naturally stirred strong emotions. Lin Dong had no objections. He nodded, and the four of them swiftly leaped down, their figures flashing as they appeared at the bottom of the abyss. Upon getting a close look at the Dark Sacred Tiger, Lin Dong could truly feel the overwhelming aura of ferocity. Though the Dark Sacred Tiger before them had no life, the subtle pressure it emitted still made Lin Dong's blood surge. Little Yan's gaze remained fixed on the massive creature. After hesitating for a moment, he slowly walked forward. He clenched his fist, his nails digging into his palm, and blood began to flow out in a steady stream. His blood-soaked hand reached out, gently placing his palm on the enormous head of the Dark Sacred Tiger, kneeling on one knee. It seemed like a gesture of ancient reverence. Lin Dong and the others stood in the back, their eyes alert, ready for any sudden change. The blood from Little Yan's hand spread, forming bloodlines that seeped into the body of the Dark Sacred Tiger. As the blood entered, a faint light began to appear on the tiger's body. This light slowly rose, and the enormous form of the Dark Sacred Tiger gradually began to become ethereal. Lin Dong's gaze was fixed on the rising light, and his eyes narrowed. The light eventually gathered in midair, transforming into a mini black and white light tiger. The light tiger's eyes trembled, and it finally opened its eyes. In those ancient, weathered eyes, there was a flicker of emotion when they landed on Little Yan. Descendant of my bloodline? A hoarse, ancient voice echoed from the black and white light tiger, reverberating through the depths of the abyss. Ancestor. Little Yan remained on one knee, his tiger-like eyes staring at the light tiger, the bloodline within him bringing a sincere and emotional expression to his face. The light tiger seemed to smile with relief before speaking, but its words seemed to be heard only by Little Yin. Lin Dong and the others could not hear it. Little Yin maintained his kneeling posture, listening intently to the ancient voice that had reached his ears. After a long while, he silently nodded. After countless years of waiting, it has finally borne fruit. I can now rest in peace, the black and white light tiger said with a weary sigh. As the voice of the black and white light tiger faded, its body gradually dissipated. As the light scattered, a black and white orb emerged, suspended mid-air, emanating an indescribable aura. Subtly, one could even discern a faint flow of blood on its surface. Little Yin stared blankly at the orb that encapsulated the final bloodline of the dark, sacred tiger clan. He then rose, his face solemn, extended his hand, and the orb floated gently into his palm. Lin Dong, observing this, smiled faintly. It seemed that Little Yin had encountered a rare fortune. Being of the tiger clan, the acquisition of this dark, sacred tiger clan's final bloodline would surely benefit his future cultivation immensely. The four at the bottom of the abyss rejoiced at this gain. However, just as the black and white orb was about to reach Little Yan's hand, an unexpected change erupted. A sudden whoosh broke the silence as a shadowy figure materialized like a ghost, reaching out to snatch the orb. Who? Lin Dong and Little Mink sensed the disturbance simultaneously, a chill surging in their gazes. But Lin Dong reacted first, unleashing a flash of silver light that tore through the air like lightning, forming a thin arc of light in front of the orb. Boom! The shadowy figure, seeing the obstruction, let out a cold snort and launched a punch. Fierce energy surged forth, carrying the force of a mountain, slamming heavily against the thin light barrier. The attack struck the light arc, which compressed like cotton, but upon reaching its limit, it rebounded with a sharp sound. Caught off guard, the shadowy figure staggered back, his feet skidding to regain balance. Taking advantage of Lin Dong's swift intervention, Little Yin grabbed the orb and swallowed it in one swift motion, then glared angrily at the intruder. And who might you be? Don't you understand the concept of first come, first served? Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander demanded coldly. Talking about fairness in a place like this, who do you take me for? The figure chuckled darkly and stepped into the light. Clad in a gray robe, his tall and brawny figure was imposing, with a rugged face. His primordial energy surged around him, manifesting as a fierce black tiger's head behind him. You're from the Abyssal Tiger Clan? Little Yin asked, his face darkening. Haha, sharp eyes indeed. The man laughed heartily. I am Luo Lai, the chief commander of the Abyssal Tiger Clan. And I am Luo Tong, the second commander, added another voice as a second figure leaped down from a nearby cliff, joining Luo Lai. So, it's the Abyssal Tiger Clan. You dare try to snatch something the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan has laid claim to? Your courage knows no bounds, Little Mink sneered, his gaze icy. Haha, the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan is indeed formidable, but the final bloodline of the Dark Sacred Tiger is worth the risk, Luo Lai replied, his gaze flickering. Friend from the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan, surely you understand how vital the Dark Sacred Tiger bloodline is to us. If you were to offer it to us, we of the Abyssal Tiger Clan would pledge allegiance to your clan in the future. What do you say? Proposed Luo Tong. We have no interest in your allegiance. My third brother has claimed this item, so drop the idea and leave now. Otherwise, I'll pretend nothing happened. Little Mink replied indifferently. Luo Lai sighed and shook his head. It seems things won't end peacefully today. He knew how troublesome it was to offend the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan, yet he also understood the significance of the Dark Sacred Tiger's final bloodline. If they could obtain it, they might revive the ancient prestige of the Dark Sacred Tiger Clan and reunite the Tiger Clan, reclaiming their place among the dominant clans. Peacefully? Just the two of you? Little Mink scoffed, his gaze fierce. You're not qualified to challenge me. Perhaps your clan leader would be. Lin Dong watched the two coldly, noting their strength at the revolution stage. Yet, with four of them here, these two pose little threat. Indeed, just the two of us might not suffice, Luo Lai chuckled, his expression turning strange. But we're not the only ones interested in the dark sacred tiger's final bloodline. Lin Dong's eyes narrowed as he lifted his head. The rainbow light dissipated, transforming into 4 figures. Each of them exuded an aura as powerful as the sea, their robust physiques and vast primordial energy revealing that they were all super-powerful experts who had entered the revolution stage. The clan of celestial demon tigers, earth-shaking thunder tigers. Little Yin furrowed his brows as he stared at the 4 powerful figures that had appeared. The 3 major tiger clans of the beast realm. It seems they've gathered here. Lin Dong slowly clenched his hand into a fist and said lightly. Little Mink's expression turned cold. These guys certainly knew how to pick their timing. The majority of their forces were scattered, and it seemed they planned to take advantage of this opportunity to forcefully seize what they wanted. Hee, you must be Commander Yin of the 4-Elephant Palace, right? You carry the bloodline of the clan of celestial demon tigers. In that sense, you should be one of our people. If you hand over the last bloodline of the dark sacred tiger to us, you'll be a great benefactor to our clan. 2 withered old men dressed in black robes fixed their sharp gazes on Little Yin and said with a smile. Little Yin sneered, curling his lips. The people of the clan of celestial demon tigers were not good folks. It seems you truly intend to make enemies of my 4-Elephant Palace, the Dragon Clan, and the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan. Fine, very well. Lin Dong's gaze turned cold. He locked eyes with the 3 major tiger clans experts and nodded slowly. His deep voice, laced with suppressed fury and killing intent, echoed in the abyss, causing the faces of the 3 tiger clan members to shift slightly. However, upon recalling the importance of the dark sacred tiger's bloodline, they gritted their teeth, murderous intent flashing in their eyes. Ha! Lin Dong took a deep breath, a ruthless glint flashing in his eyes. He exchanged a brief glance with Little Mink, both nodding slightly, their faces contorted with a fierce aura. Since it had come to this, then the only choice was to kill. The cold killing intent emanated from Lin Dong and the others, filling the air. There was no more room for words. The 3 tiger clans were after the last bloodline of the dark sacred tiger clan, and that was something that could never be handed over. Therefore, the only solution was to let their fists decide the outcome. Humph! The 3 major tiger clans experts gritted their teeth as they saw Lin Dong and the others resolve. Although they knew the 4-Elephant Palace had a powerful backing, the 3 tiger clans were by no means ordinary forces. They, too, had once been formidable. Tianlong, send the signal, Lin Dong said indifferently. Upon hearing this, the heavenly dragon demon commander immediately nodded, his palm closing around a blood-red jade, which he crushed effortlessly. As the jade shattered, an invisible wave of energy spread out at an astonishing speed. Everyone, it's still not too late to leave. Don't wait until my 4-Elephant Palace's reinforcements arrive. By then, leaving won't be so easy, Lin Dong said slowly, his gaze fixed on the 6 super experts from the revolution stage in front of him. Himph, do you think we only have this small number of people? We too were dispersed. But if we really want to gather, what can your 4-Elephant Palace do? Luo Lai sneered. How about the reinforcements from the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan and the Dragon Clan? Little Mink retorted sarcastically. Upon hearing this, the 6 from Luo Lai's group couldn't help but change their expressions. Their eyes flickered with deep wariness. After a brief exchange of glances, the murderous intent slowly resurfaced on their faces. As long as we seize the item before your reinforcements arrive, what can you do? Little Mink, you and I will each take 2. Little Yin, Tianlong, just block 1. Lin Dong's voice was cold as he spoke slowly. Though Little Yin also had the bloodline of the clan of celestial demon tigers, it was clear that the 2 celestial demon tiger experts in front of them had no intention of showing any mercy. Little Mink nodded. Though the 6 in front of them were all experts at the revolution stage, with the strength of the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan, fighting 2 at once wasn't difficult. Lin Dong's spiritual energy had advanced to the Little Talisman Master realm, making him incredibly strong. Taking on 2 revolution stage experts was not impossible. As for Little Yin and the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander, though perhaps slightly weaker, it would be quite easy to hold off one of them. 1 against 2? The faces of the three Tiger Clan experts darkened slightly. As experts at the revolution stage, they were proud, and Lin Dong's words were undoubtedly the greatest insult to them. "You must be overestimating your abilities," Luo Lai said coldly. "Overestimating? You'll know once we've fought," Lin Dong said with a faint smile. His gaze suddenly grew sharp, and in a flash, his figure appeared before Luo Lai and the other expert. With a thought, silver-white spiritual energy surged out like a tidal wave, transforming into hundreds of spiritual energy spears that shot toward them with overwhelming force. Luo Lai and the others also sneered coldly. A dense black aura surged from their bodies, causing them to expand in size. With a single punch, they transformed into two roaring black tigers. The black tigers charged forward, crashing violently into the barrage of mental energy spears filling the sky. As Lin Dong made his move, Little Mink also charged toward the two revolving stage experts of the earth-shaking Thunder Tiger Clan. The overwhelming ferocity emanating from it made the two opponents hesitate, knowing full well the fierce reputation of the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan. "Humph, kid. I see you carry the bloodline of my Celestial Demon Tiger Clan," sneered an elderly, emaciated figure from the clan, his eyes glinting sharply as he stared at Little Yin. "I, as an elder of the Celestial Demon Tiger Clan, command you to hand it over." Little Yin gave the Celestial Demon Tiger Elder a mocking glance, but didn't waste any words. With a body as solid as an iron tower, he charged forward, his shadow sweeping over the Elder, closing in with terrifying speed. At the same time, the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander sneered coldly, entangling the final Celestial Demon Tiger Clan Elder. In the blink of an eye, 10 figures clashed fiercely at the bottom of the abyss. Among them, only Little Yin wasn't at the revolving stage level. Everyone else was a true expert at that stage. The battle caused the heavens to quake and the earth to crack. The abyss itself trembled from the shockwaves of their confrontation, massive cracks spreading across the ground, and giant rocks rolled down violently. Whoosh! Whoosh! This abyss, unable to withstand the fierce battle of 10 powerful fighters, began to crack open. Giant boulders tumbled, and the entire area fractured, sending the 10 figures soaring toward the sky. The space, once eerily quiet, was now filled with intense energy waves. The fierce battle quickly drew the attention of other strong individuals who had also entered this space. They rushed over through the sky, staring in shock at the violent conflict. Anyone who could enter this space was no ordinary figure, and their sharp eyes immediately recognized the combatants. Whispers began to spread among them. "Aren't those from the 3 Tiger Clans? Why are they fighting with the 4 Elephant Palace?" Heh, Lin Dong is impressive, managing to hold off the 2 leaders of the Abyssal Tiger Clan with just his strength. Looking at these fluctuations, it seems like mental energy. Lin Dong's mental power is unexpectedly strong. He must have reached the Talisman Master level. Although a little Talisman Master is stronger than a regular revolving stage expert, taking on 2 opponents like this won't be easy. In the surrounding sky, lights flashed as figures appeared, gazing in astonishment at the fierce battle below. Clearly, they were perplexed by the sudden clash between the 4 Elephant Palace and the 3 Tiger Clans. "Heh, this is interesting," chuckled a voice from the sky. 2 figures appeared in the air. A short, elderly man and a tall, graceful woman. The woman had dazzling silver hair that cascaded down like the Milky Way, drawing admiring gazes from those nearby. They were Kuanping clans Kuan Yuan and Kuan Ling. The silver-haired woman, Kuan Ling, swept her phoenix eyes across the scene before resting them on Lin Dong. As a master of mental energy, she could tell at a glance that Lin Dong was using his mental power to resist the 2 revolving stage experts from the Abyssal Tiger Clan. His use of mental energy is quite impressive, but defeating these 2 won't be easy, Kuan Ling said coldly. "I've heard that Lin Dong could face off against revolving stage experts even before reaching the Talisman Master level. Now that his mental power has grown even stronger, he's like a tiger with wings. The 2 of them will find it difficult to deal with him," Kuan Yuan replied with a smile, shaking his head. Boom! As soon as he finished speaking, 3 figures in the distance collided fiercely, their violent energy erupting as they were sent flying back dozens of steps. Lin Dong steadied himself and looked at the two fierce-faced opponents. His brow furrowed slightly. Their target was the devouring deity temple, and wasting too much time here was not wise. It was time to end this quickly. Lin Dong's eyes flashed, and with a firm grip, a miniature palace appeared in his hand. He flicked his finger lightly, and the palace shot forward, expanding as it sped through the air. Within the palace, countless rays of light shot out, intertwining to form a massive light array. The array fired out, enveloping Luo Tang in its glow. Bang! 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 Luo Tang, trapped within the array, was startled. The Xintian Palace has always held the power of sealing, and in ancient times, it even suppressed and sealed many alien demon kings. Although Lin Dong cannot yet wield its full power, trapping a strong cultivator at the revolution stage is evidently not difficult. Left alone, what waves could you possibly stir? Lin Dong's expression turned icy as he looked at Luo Lai outside the formation. With a sharp clench of his hand, the sky abruptly darkened as thunderclouds rapidly gathered. Countless lightning serpents writhed and danced within the clouds. Having ascended to the Talisman Grandmaster realm, Lin Dong could now control many forces of nature. With a simple motion, he commanded the winds, clouds, and thunder. In a flurry, Lin Dong's hands formed a series of complex seals, finally creating an unusual hand sign. The thunderclouds roiled, and onlookers were astonished to see countless lightning serpents surge out, converging beneath the clouds to form an ancient, massive talisman symbol, nearly 1,000 feet wide. A powerful and awe-inspiring energy emanated from the ancient talisman of lightning. This energy, Kuan Ling's phoenix-like eyes fixed on the enormous talisman, her expression becoming solemn. As a talisman grandmaster herself, she sensed that this lightning talisman was no mere product of lightning. It harbored an immensely formidable power. Roar! Luo Lai, sensing imminent danger, paled and let out an enraged roar. Black energy erupted from him, shaping itself into a gigantic black tiger, nearly 1,000 feet tall, its gaze ferocious, exuding a murderous aura that filled the sky. Ancient Thunder Talisman. A cold gleam flashed in Lin Dong's dark eyes as he swung his hand down. The lightning talisman shot across the sky like a bolt of lightning. In an instant, everyone saw only a flash of thunderlight before the black tiger let out a piercing howl. Sizzling and crackling, dazzling lightning burst from the black tiger's body, its terrifying power slamming it into the ground with such force that the earth cracked open, revealing a massive pit. At the bottom lay a disheveled figure, its once powerful aura significantly diminished. A single move to decide the outcome. Onlookers, watching Luo Lai fall in mere moments, grew cautious, their gazes shifting to the young figure in the sky with newfound respect. You. Seeing how swiftly Lin Dong had dealt with Luo Lai, Luo Tong, trapped within the formation, looked increasingly agitated. Now, it's your turn. Lin Dong remained expressionless, his palm rotating as flickering lightning danced, and an ancient talisman seemed to materialize faintly within his grasp. Swish, swish. However, just as Lin Dong prepared to attack again, the sky resounded with the sound of swift-moving figures, and several people burst into the battlefield, their hostile gazes locking onto Lin Dong, who was poised to strike. The other forces of the three great tiger clans have arrived, Kuan Yuan noted with a smile. But there are even more reinforcements from the Four-Elephant Palace. Haha, what's this? The three great tiger clans want to take on the Four-Elephant Palace? Then perhaps we of the Dragon Clan and the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan should join in, too. As Kuan Yuan's voice faded, a hearty laugh echoed from afar. A dozen figures, emanating a powerful aura, surged forth, their presence causing the expressions of the three great tiger clans' powerhouses to darken. The air hummed as the sky filled with figures. Light scattered, revealing the assembled forces. The three great tiger clans had 6 new arrivals, all at the revolution stage, proving that the recent spatial disturbances had drawn many top elites from within their ranks. As one of the 8 great royal clans, their strength, though not on par with the four dominant clans, was still formidable. Yet, despite their strength, they now wore grim expressions. Opposite them, a dozen figures hovered in the air, eyes fierce and intimidating. The previously separated elders Zhu Li, Lu Qing, and Commander Jin Yuan had now gathered here as well. With the Four Elephant Palace, the Dragon Clan, and the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan united, this powerful lineup easily surpassed that of the three great tiger clans. The intense battle that had raged moments ago gradually came to a halt as both sides took their positions. The three great tiger clans Elder Zhu Li and Lu Qing were both top-tier experts who had touched upon the pinnacle of the reincarnation stage, far surpassing ordinary revolution stage experts. If they truly engaged in battle, it's likely that the two of them alone could hold everyone else back. I have to say, the three great tiger clans have become bolder lately. You know very well that Lin Dong is the Dragon Clan's elder of punishments, yet you still dare to make a move. Are you looking down on the Dragon Clan? Lu Qing sneered. Jiao is the young clan leader of my Heavenly Demon Mink Clan. By attacking him, you are provoking the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan, Elder Zhu Li added calmly. The experts from the three great tiger clans stiffened slightly at these words. Although they were significant clans in the beast realm, they obviously dared not offend the Dragon Clan and the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan, the two dominant clans. If word of this reached their clans, they would certainly face harsh reprimands. No need for anger. This is merely a misunderstanding, said the two elders of the clan of Celestial Demon Tiger, forcing a laugh. Though they were willing to risk offending the two great clans for the sake of acquiring the last bloodline of the Dark Sacred Tiger Clan, it was clear they had lost their best chance. Further provocation of the Dragon Clan and Heavenly Demon Mink Clan would be unwise. This Commander Yin from the Four Elephant Palace bears our clan of Celestial Demon Tiger's bloodline, so in a way, we're family. How could we harbor any other intentions? Upon hearing this, little Yin couldn't help but sneer inwardly, his tiger eyes flashing with a trace of menace. The clan of Celestial Demon Tiger had thoroughly angered him today, and if an opportunity presented itself in the future, he would certainly settle the score. Leader Lin Dong, we were indeed rash today. I, the elder here, apologize and ask if you could release Luotong. An elder from the Abyssal Tiger clan glanced at Luotong, who was still restrained by Lin Dong, and clasped his hands together. I can release him, but I hope everyone will mind their words and actions. Otherwise, don't blame me for resorting to lethal measures. Lin Dong glanced at him, pondered for a moment, and then spoke calmly. Hearing this, Luotong and the others could only grit their teeth and nod. Lin Dong's message was clear. They were to keep silent about the last bloodline of the Dark Sacred Tiger Clan. Seeing this, Lin Dong finally waved his hand, and the formation restraining Luotong dissipated as the Shintian Palace transformed into a streak of light and returned to him. Though Lin Dong was somewhat angered by the actions of the three great tiger clans, he knew now wasn't the time for a fierce conflict. His main objective here remained the Devouring Deity Temple. Many powerful factions sought the Devouring Lord's inheritance, so wasting his strength here would be unwise. Once released, Luotong's expression was dark and uncertain. Recognizing the situation, he suppressed his aggression, especially as Lu Qing's fierce gaze bore down on him. Reluctantly, he helped up Luo Lai, who had been subdued by a single strike from Lin Dong. Luo Lai's face was sullen, filled with shame. Losing so miserably in a 2-on-1 situation was sure to invite ridicule. Let's go. Though seething with resentment, Luo Lai knew better than to linger. He waved his hand, and the experts from the Abyssal Tiger clan quickly retreated. The other two tiger clans, seeing the Abyssal Tiger clan withdraw, gave an awkward nod to Lin Dong and his companions, then hurriedly took their leave. What had initially been a heated contest thus ended in anticlimactic fashion. The surrounding experts could only shake their heads in exasperation. Whatever the three great tiger clans were thinking, they'd clearly made a mistake. Challenging the Four Elephant Palace, backed by both the Dragon Clan and the Heavenly Demon Mink Clan, was courting trouble. In the skies, as the spectacle ended, the various factions dispersed, moving away in all directions. We hadn't been apart long, and yet you've already managed to get entangled with the three great tiger clans again, Elder Julie sighed, turning to Lin Dong, Little Mink, and the others, clearly at a loss for words over their knack for attracting trouble. These guys dare to steal from us, so they're lucky that Lord Mink didn't kill them. Little Mink snorted, his eyes flashing with fierce intent. What were they trying to take from you? Elder Julie asked, slightly surprised. Lin Dong shrugged, hiding nothing, and explained the situation involving the dark sacred tiger. So, it's the dark sacred tiger. Elder Julie and Lu Qing exchanged glances, surprise evident on their faces. You all have quite the fortune. The dark sacred tiger clan has essentially vanished from this world, and what you obtained might very well be the last bloodline of this clan in existence. Elder Julie sighed, his expression filled with nostalgia. After all, in ancient times, the dark sacred tiger clan was on par with their dragon clan. Yet after that great catastrophe, it had fallen to the brink of extinction. May the last bloodline of the dark sacred tiger clan truly allow this once dominant clan to rise again. Little Yin nodded slightly, placing his hand over his chest. He could feel the black and white orb he had swallowed beginning to dissolve slowly, releasing an ancient and powerful bloodline, one even stronger than that of his celestial demon tiger clan. Let's go. It's time for us to head to the devouring deity temple. Lin Dong smiled, patting Little Yin on the shoulder. They had already spent quite a bit of time here, but thanks to the subtle guidance from the devouring ancestral talisman, he could sense the general direction of the devouring deity temple. Everyone smiled and nodded in response, their faces filled with anticipation. They all harbored great curiosity about the legendary devouring lord. Let's move out. Lin Dong gave a small smile and was the first to dart forward, transforming into a streak of light that sped toward a certain point in the depths of the fractured space. Behind him, Little Mink and the others followed closely, creating a spectacular sight. Along the way, Lin Dong's group did not make any stops. His gaze remained fixed on the depths of the fractured space, his dark eyes flickering with a fiery light. During their journey, they encountered numerous powerful figures who had also ventured into this fractured space, most of them well-known experts from the demon realm. However, when these experts saw Lin Dong's group, they all displayed a hint of apprehension, for the group's strength was truly intimidating. Lin Dong paid them no heed, pushing his speed to the limit. After nearly an hour, he suddenly froze as he felt the devouring ancestral talisman within him begin to tremble intensely. The sensation was growing more and more distinct. We're almost there. Lin Dong gradually slowed down, speaking softly. Everyone's eyes lit up with excitement at his words. After another 10 minutes of rapid travel, Lin Dong's group finally slowed and came to a halt, their gazes all fixed on the end of the path ahead. There, on a desolate plain, a solitary black peak stood proudly, its cliffs steep and without any path leading up. As they looked higher, they could see a large black palace perched atop the solitary peak, standing as though it had been there since ancient times. Lin Dong and his companions gazed at the lone, dark palace with complex expressions. There, within that structure, lay the remains of one of the most formidable warriors from ancient times. This was a warrior who had once crossed spatial rifts to invade the realm of the alien demons, causing even those ferocious creatures to feel a rare sense of fear. He was one of the brightest stars of his era. We've finally found you. Lin Dong took a deep breath, his body trembling slightly as he felt the sorrowful hum of the devouring ancestral talisman within him. The name of the devouring lord had been deeply engraved in Lin Dong's heart since the moment he obtained the devouring ancestral talisman, and now, he could finally face him in a new way. Excitement surged within Lin Dong, but he suppressed it after a brief moment, for he sensed the sound of urgent winds behind them. The top-tier experts from across the demon realm were arriving one after another. Swish! One after another, streaks of light appeared in the sky, all of them focusing their gazes on the black palace atop the solitary peak. For a moment, silence reigned as they observed with a touch of reverence. The 8 ancient lords. In ancient times, these disciples of the ancestral talisman master had defended countless lives across the heavens and earth. Lin Dong felt the solemn atmosphere, but he simply closed his eyes. He knew this silence would not last long. Time ticked by. After about half an hour, many of the experts' eyes began to regain clarity, and then, like flames, excitement began to stir. Whoosh! Sensing the change, Lin Dong slowly opened his previously closed eyes, his slender hand clenching slightly as he gazed resolutely at the Black Palace. Your legacy, I will inherit. This world, I will protect.